Whatever. Anyway, please welcome to the program now. Our old friend Donald Trump. Good morning, Donald.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay.
I was telling Charles when I was just talking about it. Sitting there watching you make that statement, I thought, man, that's... Yep. I thought that was great.
Well, I see it a lot too, Don. I mean, I see young people come to New York, and they think they're going to take New York by storm. And you remember Midnight Cowboy, which was probably one of the all-time classics, and John Voight. And they come to the city, they think it's going to be easy, they're going to be models, they're going to go into your business, they're going to go into something, and it's going to be just so easy. And they end up in a year or 2 years of rejection, just rejection after rejection. It's just a tough place. It's a great place. I think it's the greatest place on earth, but it can be mean, and they end up in a very bad position. Now, in the Tara case, she won the Miss USA contest. She came to New York, and, I mean, guys are calling her up wanting to fly her to Paris in G5s. Come on, she came from Kentucky, and all of a sudden she's meeting these hustlers with the G5s. Many of them are your friends and my friends, sadly. I mean, I have to say sadly. And they're all after her, and she didn't know which way to go. And she started drinking, and she started really going out like heavy league and wasn't doing her job. And everyone wanted her fired, including the people at the Miss USA contest and Miss Universe contest. And they all wanted her fired, and I wanted her fired. And then I met her, and I said, I'm not going to fire her. So it was something that really a lot of people liked. And then, as you know, Rosie O'Donnell, and it was universally hailed. And then, because, you're giving somebody a second chance. And then Rosie O'Donnell got on the air, and I got a call from a friend of mine, and I got a call from my wife. And she said, darling, this woman, Rosie, she's just gone on a 15-minute tirade about me. I said, what did I do? I'm in my office working. And she went on a thing saying all sorts of things. I'm a pimp, I'm a this, I'm a that. And, when I got a tape, I said, well, you can do one of two things. You don't have to do anything, and it gets forgotten, or you go, maybe gets forgotten, or you go on an aggressive attack. And as you noticed, I went on a slightly aggressive attack.
Well, as I said to somebody, I said, if anybody who knows Trump even casually, you don't have to be a friend of his, knows that this is what's going to happen, particularly if you're wrong in attacking him, I mean... You didn't ask me, but if I'd have been you, I wouldn't have called her any names. I'd have tried to get... But I understand how you got mad, because I get mad.
You would have called... I know you well, Don. I've known you for a long time. You would have used the same word
no, wait a minute. That's me.
You might have gone... I don't know. You might have gone a step further if that's possible. I'm not sure what words...
Yes, I would have. I would have gone a lot further than you did. But that's me.
Hey, Don, yesterday I did Meredith Vieira.
Yeah.
And on the Today Show. And she's very nice, but she starts off by saying... it's about The Apprentice. I'm there about The Apprentice, which goes on Sunday. So I'm sitting there waiting to have an Apprentice question. She says, Donald, tell me about Rosie. Why did you attack her? Then there's another question about Rosie. Then the third question is a statement. Donald, why do you always talk about Rosie? I said, because you're asking me questions. She goes, but you shouldn't be talking about Rosie. I said, you asked me the question. I don't want to talk about that slob. You asked me the question. And then she goes, well, it's what everyone's talking about. And then I go, well, that's exactly what happened. You're asking me the question. So I'm getting all this heat. And then Anderson Cooper, who I think is terrific, he just plays it over and over. He loves it. And he said, it's unbelievable. And I think part of the reason, I mean, you have every politician in America listening to your show. It's amazing.
No.
And the difference is they have to be politically correct. I don't have to be politically correct. When Meredith Vieira said to me yesterday, but you called her a slob, you called her a degenerate, I said, you're 100% right.
No.
She said, you called her crude. I said, no, I didn't, but it's a good word. I'm going to add that too. But, it's basically I'm telling the truth. And a lot of people, I think the reason it became so big, it was the number one thing on the Internet for the last week. And so was the Miss USA hiring or firing. I mean, that thing turned out to be, these were two monsters. And it was started by Rosie. And, I mean, she said a lot of things that were incorrect. She said I went bankrupt. I mean, I'm on the cover last month of the Forbes 400. I'm on the cover.
Yeah.
And she said I went bankrupt. Now, she was referring to a long time ago. There's only one problem. It wasn't true. So then she said I went bankrupt 3 times. Then she said, my brothers and sisters bailed me out. If you knew my brothers and sisters, if I asked them for 10 cents, and I loved them, and they loved me, but it's like you asking Fred.
Yeah.
If I asked them for 10 cents, they'd laugh at me.
Yeah.
And they'd be very happy. They'd say, oh, man, he's got problems. This is wonderful. Okay? They wouldn't give me 10 cents. So, my brothers and sisters bailed me out. Actually, my one sister called. She said, gee, I don't remember that. That must be very exciting. I don't think I would have done that, Donald. So, sort of interesting.